Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. This is virtual class of Pakistan International School, Taif. I am Ms. Bushra Tanveer. This is Social Studies class for grade 8. This is the 9th video of this Social Studies class. In this video, we shall discuss chapter number 11. Dear students, after today's lesson, we shall be able to understand the text given in chapter number 11. We shall be able to understand the MCQs, short questions and long question answers given in the exercise textbook. Dear students, now we shall start our chapter number 11. The subhead, the title of the chapter, the concept of two-nation state. Now we shall start the reading. In this chapter, we shall take a deeper look at the concept of two-nation state and the ideology of Pakistan. The whole of the Indo-Pak subcontinent has never been a single nation. It is so vast that in the past, with slow and difficult communications, it was impossible for a single ruler to govern the whole of it. Even at the height of the Mughal power under Aurangzeb, the southern tip of subcontinent was independent, and in much of the rest of the country, except the north, local rulers had a great deal of freedom. Some vast areas paid taxes to the Mughal emperors, and then more to less went their own way. Some, like the Marathas and Sikhs, were never really incorporated into the Mughal Empire. Dear students, in this chapter we shall discuss about the two-nation state, the concept of two-nation state. As you know that in Indo-Pak, in subcontinent, there were different nations over there, just like Hindu, Muslims, Sikhs, Marathas. So the first paragraph is the explanation. It is claimed that the Indo-Pak subcontinent has never been a single nation, as it was inhabited by people of different religions and ethnic groups who spoke different languages and had different cultures, especially later the Hindus and the Muslims. Even under rulers like Ashoka or Aurangzeb, the Mughal ruler whose kingdom then had the largest boundaries, the subcontinent was not completely united under one ruler. There were different independent states, some of whom did not accept the Mughal, for example, the Marathas and the Sikhs. Dear students, in this slide or in front of your computer screen, you can see the map of the Indo-Pak. This is the map before the partition 1947. As you can see on the left side, the green area, this area shows the cities related to group B, because on that time there was not the Pakistan and India. These places were only called by the names of, just you can see in the green, this is the group B. In the green area, mostly Muslims provinces are over there, means in these areas Muslims lived in majority. And in the middle of the map, In the middle of the map you can see the Delhi, Kolkata, Bombay. All these are the cities of India, and on the right side you can see these are the names of the cities over there: Assam, Bengal, Dhaka. Actually, before the partition, the subcontinent have divided into three groups. The first group, Group A, mainly Hindu provinces. The second group, Group B, mainly Muslim provinces. And the third group, Group C, mainly Assam, Bengal, Dhaka. Here is also the Muslim provinces over there. I think the name of the cities which are given in the maps, it is clear to you. Dear students, now we shall see the next subheading of this chapter. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, the time period 1817 to 1898. In the 18th century, however, one of the most influential Muslim figures was Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. He was a brilliant man who did much to resolve the differences between the British and the Muslims after the War of Independence. He convinced the Muslims eventually that education was vital for them and set up the Anglo-Oriental College at Aligarh. Only through education, he believed, could they recapture the great glory of their past. He discussed the situation with Hindu leaders and saw how determined they were to rule completely. Dear students, in this paragraph actually give the struggle, or we can say the efforts of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Actually, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, he was pro-British, but with the firm foot in both camps. He was something of an idealist, but his great contribution was the encouragement of education, which the Muslims had rejected after the War of Independence. He could see clearly that this would condemn Muslims perpetually to inferior positions. He also preached that science and technology, which were rejected by many Muslims, were not alien to Islam and the Quran, and they must be accepted. Also, the Sir Syed Ahmad Khan tried to establish friendly relationship between the Muslims and the British to the advantage of the formers. He was strongly in the favor of education for the Muslim, and so that reason he set up the Anglo-Oriental College, Oriental School in Aligarh. He suggested that there should be separate state for Hindus and the Muslims. Allama Iqbal, a brilliant lawyer and poet, showed the direction forward for the Muslim state in the subcontinent. So, in this paragraph, as you know that I have explained you the struggle or the effort of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan for the Muslims. So dear students, now the next subheading of our chapter, Allama Muhammad Iqbal, the time period 1877 to 1938. He was a scholar and philosopher, poet and lawyer, educated both in the traditional as well as modern institutions of his time at home and abroad. Iqbal was ranked foremost as an influential figure in the modern Muslim history. Yes, dear students, as you know that about Allama Iqbal, he was our national poet, and you also have read many times related to in other books, also in your Urdu book, in your essays related to Allama Iqbal. You know about the history of Allama Iqbal, and as you know that Allama Iqbal also have the great contribution for the freedom of the Muslim, or we can say that Allama Iqbal also have the great contribution in the freedom for the Pakistan. Allama Iqbal, a greatest thinker in India at the time, he was also a practical man. Initially, like Mr. Jinnah, he believed that when independence eventually came to the subcontinent, it must be a single nation, as reflected by anthem, सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा. And in the 1930, however, he realized that the Hindus would be in permanent and total control, and he advocated separate state. He had a profound influence on the thinking of Quaid-e-Azam, who was a man of action. Iqbal wrote inspirational poetry both in Urdu and Persian to motivate the Muslims of the subcontinent as well as the West Asian state into action. And you know that Allama Iqbal's poetry arose the Muslims or awakened the Muslims for the freedom of Pakistan. And you know that Allama Iqbal give the idea or the we can say the concept of Pakistan. And Allama Iqbal in 1930 in his dress Allahabad, he very clearly said that he put forward clearly and in practical terms the idea of separate state for Muslims and Hindus when British granted independence. Though close to Iqbal means that after that the Allama Iqbal, before the establishment of Pakistan, he died, but Quaid-e-Azam fulfilled the dream or we can say the concept of Allama Iqbal. And also the two nation themes given by the Allama Iqbal, two nation themes which was given by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, and it was we can say clearly in the Lahore Resolution in 1940 after the death of Allama Muhammad Iqbal. Dear students, now the next subheading, Chaudhry Rahmat Ali, time period 1897 to 1951. He was a lawyer trained in Lahore and then at Cambridge University in England. During his stay in England in 1930s, he met the Muslim leaders from the subcontinent at the Round Table conferences. He tried to convince them to press for an independent Muslim state. Though he didn't meet with success, he continued to write and circulate his views. In 1933, in a pamphlet entitled Now or Never, Chaudhry Rahmat Ali proposed the name Pakistan based on the provinces it would encompasses. Yes, dear students, in this paragraph, we shall discuss about Chaudhry Rahmat Ali. Chaudhry Rahmat Ali was a strong advocate of a single federal state for Pakistan, but excluding the eastern wing. He is credited with inventing the name for the initial Punjab. Afghanistan means NWFP, means now Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, KI Kashmir, S Sindh, and STAN from Balochistan. It means that for the word he proposed the name of Pakistan state, so he took the name from the 4 provinces and then he suggests the name for this state Pakistan. There are variations of this. Chaudhry Rahmat Ali was the great leader and he was border drawn by the British and accepted by Quaid-e-Azam, who called it a moth-eaten and truncated Pakistan means that due to the effort of Quaid-e-Azam, we established Pakistan, and Chaudhry Rahmat Ali was a person who proposed the name of this state, Pakistan. Dear students, now we shall see the next subheading of this chapter, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, 1876 to 1948. As we have seen, for much of his life as a politician and leader of the Muslim League, the Qaid believed in one state for Indian subcontinent with the kind of federal government which would give the Muslims responsibility for most things in the areas where they formed the bulk of the population, but steadily he was driven to the belief that this just would not work. The Hindus, after independence, would just take over all power. Dear students, now in this lesson, in this subheading or in this paragraph, we shall discuss about Quaid-e-Azam. And in your class, as a Pakistani students, you know about you have the great lot of information about Quaid-e-Azam. You also, in your essay in English or in Urdu essays, you have seen, or we can say that you have the lot information about Quaid-e-Azam. So Quaid-e-Azam was the founder of the country and driving force behind the Pakistan movement. Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah struggled for the Muslims. As you know that Mr. Muhammad Ali Jinnah put forward the proposal of a separate Islamic state in the Muslim League meeting at Lahore in 1940. In 1940 is we can say is the big occasion for the Muslims, or the great occasion for the Muslim, which we are going to celebrate every year on 23rd March. So on 23rd March 1940, on that time Quaid-e-Azam proposed a separate Islamic state for Muslim. So that reason, on that day we call that Pakistan Day. 23rd March is called the Day of Pakistan. And this resolution, as you know that this resolution was held, or we can say passed, in the place of Minar-e-Pakistan in Lahore, and on that place there is a special building is over there which is called Minar-e-Pakistan, and every year we celebrate this day as a Pakistan Day. So here we shall discuss about the efforts, or we can say the struggle of Quaid-e-Azam. The British, seeing that he had great power over the Muslims of subcontinent, had to ultimately give in, and a separate state, Pakistan, was born on 14 August 1947. Chaudhry Rahmat Ali tried to convince the Muslim leaders to demand an independent state. He proposed the name Pakistan, and he formed the Pakistan National Movement. Dear students, now in this passage or in this subheading we shall discuss about the ideology of Pakistan. Ideology is the name given to a set of ideas, ideals and beliefs that are particular to a group of people and also guide them. As such, in their struggle for a separate homeland, the Muslims of subcontinent were guided by their ideology, which helped them to achieve their goal. The same ideology also helped the leaders of the new nation to frame the constitution and laws and run the country accordingly. Dear students, What is the ideology of Pakistan? Ideology is a set of ideas. First of all, it is very important for you to know about the meaning of ideology. So ideology is a set of ideas, ideals and beliefs that a particular group of people follow. So the Pakistan ideology is based on two nation theory, and that Pakistan should be guided by the principles of Islam, law and justice. So Pakistan is based on the two nation theory, means that in the beginning of, or we can say that in the subcontinent, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan gave the two nation theory, and he discussed, or we can say that he told the people that in the subcontinent there are two nations, Hindus and Muslims, and their tradition, cultures and religion, each and everything is different. So Indo-Pak should be divided into two states. One state should be for the Muslims and one should be for the Hindus. So dear students, now on your computer screen you can see the map again on your computer screen. This is the map after the establishment of Pakistan. In the left side, the green area is the West Pakistan, Karachi, and the white area in the center of the map you can see the Delhi, India, Bombay, Kolkata. These all are the cities of India. And on the right side you also can see a green, this is the East Pakistan. Do you know the guys that East Pakistan means that Pakistan divided into two parts in 1971. So the one part is called the West Pakistan, which was the old Pakistan, and the other new East Pakistan, which is called now Bangladesh. So it means that after the establishment from 1947 till 1971, on that time period, the Pakistan was a single state, but in 1971 the Pakistan divided into two states, West Pakistan and East Pakistan, and East Pakistan is now called Bangladesh. Dear students, I think each and every paragraph or each and everything is cleared to you. If you have any problem, you can read the text given in the book. Each and everything is very easy, and when you will read this text 2 or 3 times, then you can understand it clearly. But later on, if you have any problem, then you can also consult the video. It should be on your computer screen at any time. Dear students, now we shall discuss choose the best answer from this chapter. The first one, there were dash independent states in the subcontinent in 1911, 540, 560, 550, 570. So the correct option is 560. Option B. The second MCQs, Shah Waliullah was born in dash 1704, 1703, 1705, 1706. The correct option is 1703. Third MCQ, Anglo-Oriented College was established by Allama Iqbal, Sir Syed, M.A. Johar and Dr. Shabir. So the correct option is Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, option B. Now the fourth MCQ is Allama Iqbal delivered his famous address in Allahabad in dash 1938, 1929, 1930, 1932. The correct option is 1930. Dear students, now MCQ number 5. Allama Iqbal died in dash 21st January 1938, 21st January April 1938, 21st October 1938, 21st December 1938. The correct option is option B. MCQ number 6. The name Pakistan was proposed by M.A. Johar, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, Quaid-e-Azam, Chaudhry Rahmat Ali. The correct option is Chaudhry Rahmat Ali. MCQ number 7. Pakistan resolution was passed in March 1930, 1939, 1940, 1941. The correct option is 1940. Yes students, MCQ number 8. Objective resolution was passed in March 1947, 1946, 1948, 1949. The correct option is 1949. MCQ number 9. The 14 points were presented by M.A. Johar, Allama Iqbal, Quaid-e-Azam, Chaudhry Rahmat Ali. The correct option is Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. MCQ number 10. Sir Syed Ahmad Shahid Barelvi was born in 1785, 1786, 1787, 1788. The correct option is 1786. Yes students, now we shall discuss the short question answer. The first question: who were knighted by British and given the title Sir? Allama Iqbal and Sir Syed Ahmad Khan were knighted by the British and given the title Sir. Question number 2. Name the 4 influential personalities of 19th to 20th century. Maulana Shibli Nomani, Sayyid Amir Ali, Muhammad Ali Johar, Allama Iqbal, Quaid-e-Azam, Chaudhry Rahmat Ali. Now question number 3. Who formed Pakistan National Movement? Chaudhry. Answer: Chaudhry Rahmat Ali formed Pakistan National Movement. Question number 4. What is two-nation theory? The two-nation theory means there were two major nations. One was the Hindu and other was a Muslim. These two nations were strongly opposite to each other in their ways of living, customs, ideas, thoughts, social system, political system, religion and faith. Yes students, now we shall see the question answer given in the exercise in your textbook. The question number 1. What role did Sir Syed and Allama Iqbal played in uplifting the Muslims of India? Sir Syed Ahmad Khan tried to establish friendly relationship between the Muslims and British to the advantage of the former. He was strongly in favor of education as he was it as the key to progress. He set up the Anglo-Oriental School in Aligarh. He suggested that there should be separate states for Hindus and Muslims. Allama Iqbal, a brilliant philosopher and a poet, showed the direction forward for a Muslim state in the subcontinent. He saw the dangers of a single country in which 80% would be non-Muslims and how Hindus would never let go of power. In Allahabad State 1930, he put forward clearly and in practical terms the idea of separate states for Muslims and Hindus. When Britain granted independence, though close to Allama Iqbal, Mr. Jinnah adopted the two-nation theme 2 years after Iqbal's death. Dear students, now we shall see the question number 2. Describe the contribution of Muhammad Ali Jinnah and Chaudhry Rahmat Ali to the Muslims freedom movement. Mr. Jinnah put forward the proposal of a separate Islamic state in the Muslim League meeting at Lahore in 1940. The British, seeing that he had great power over the Muslims of subcontinent, had to ultimately give give in and a separate nation. Pakistan was born in 14 August 1947. Chaudhry Rahmat Ali tried to convince the Muslim leaders to demand an independent state. He proposed the name Pakistan and he formed the Pakistan National Movement. Yes, students, now question number 3. Explain what is meant by ideology. What are main features of Pakistan's ideology? Ideology is a set of ideas and beliefs that a particular group of people follow. The Pakistan ideology is based on the two-nation theory and that Pakistan should be guided by the principle of Islam, law and justice. Dear students, now the homework. Read the text given in chapter 11 2 or 3 times, that each and everything should be clear to you. And learn and write all the MCQs, short question answers and the long question answers given in the book. See you in the next video. Goodbye.